3, 2, 1, 0.
We're here celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Bots app. Welcome to Bots TV. Hi, my name is Daniel, and you're watching Bots TV. We're live right here in the Netherlands, in Haarlem. And before we get started, I should just remind you, anything we say today is not financial advice. So please, please, please do your own research. Now, I'm filling in for Koen today, who's away on holiday in South Africa. But someone who is here every time is Michele. Michele, how are you doing?
Yes, I am doing great, Daniel. Thank you. This week has been actually a bit of a downfall, as you have noticed within the market, but we are slowly recovering. However, on the brighter side, we are at Bots TV today, so things are looking on the upside.
That's right. We're here at Bots TV, and it is a special celebration for us because the Bots app has had its 1-year anniversary. And you can see that here by the balloons and the streamers and the celebratory attitude and the positive vibes I'm getting from Michele as well. Now, this episode, we are going to be talking to some people. We're going to have some great conversations. First of all, we're going to go into the Bots news, but then we're going to get into Bots the Builder with Roy Lenders, who's been with us from the start. Then we're going to talk to Anton Golub from Flov Technologies, and we're also, of course, going to celebrate the Bots Bday. But first things first, it's the news. Now, of course, the top story is what's happening to crypto and Bitcoin. And we're going to call this the Musk effect. Now, Bitcoin did stabilize a bit this Thursday, climbing back to 40,000 USD, but it's lost more than 30% in its market cap since its mid-April peak. Now, one factor could be, yes, the influence of Elon Musk, after hints that Tesla sold its Bitcoin holdings, and also talking about how they're not going to accept Bitcoin payments for the Tesla car. But Elon Musk later on did clarify that they actually did not sell off their holdings. Now, another factor that could be influencing what's happening with Bitcoin is that China bans crypto. China has officially banned financial institutions and payment companies from providing cryptocurrency transactions. Now, under the ban, institutions cannot offer clients any service involving cryptocurrencies. This means registration, trading, or settlements. However, the ban does not bar individuals from holding. So, in a sense, crypto is living on. Now, what do you think? What's happened with crypto this time? Whose fault is it? Elon Musk? China? What's going on?
Yeah, it may be both. It's a double whammy for the crypto market, actually. When it comes to China, for instance, what's interesting about the particular ban is that, yes, it bans registration and settlement and transactions, but it actually does not ban holding. So the holding movement, in a sense, lives on. So that's quite interesting to see how that will turn out for China. On the other hand, for Elon Musk, I think an interesting thing about this particular week, it just shows that it's quite a premature market. If one guy can have so much influence on what he does and what he fails to do, and people are watching him in such real time and have a fear of what he may or may not do in the future, I mean, what does that really say about the market? You know, there's a lot of speculation out there, and it's also quite interesting as well.
That's right. You know, if crypto's so young that somebody can just become associated with it and then have this massive influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, speaking of the newer developments in crypto, we have something called Safemoon. Maybe you heard about it. It's another cryptocurrency which is joining the race to the moon, Safemoon. But what exactly is this thing? Now, it seems to have a whole roster ahead trying to fix price validity, creating a Safemoon app, a wallet, as well as games. Now, it's a pretty long to-do list, but the project has already attracted over 2 million investors, and it's up 202%. So, is this coin going to last? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, finally, our story is about India and Polygon. Polygon is India's own crypto. It's amongst the top. It has officially crossed the 10 billion market cap, so it's in the top 20 cryptos worldwide. Now, the coin uses blockchain based off Ethereum, And the Ethereum co-founder, Vitalik Buterin, just donated a hefty chunk of Ethereum and the Shiba Inu coin to India's COVID relief fund. So, let's talk about what's going on here with India. How did this crypto get to the top, and what is actually happening with crypto in India right now?
Yeah, well, India is, first off, I want to say it's a very generous effort on the fact of Vitalik Buterin for donating. And of course, India is going through a very, very difficult time. One slight sense of humor within it all is the donation occurred right before the crash. So 30% is gone. But nevertheless, it's still quite a generous effort. But Safemoon, I'm actually quite interested within Safemoon. As you said before, the agenda is quite extensive, and there's a lot of things that were promising, but there's also this sense of vagueness, which I think is very attractive to people. I think the big question here is it a scam? I think that's what people really want to know. Is this a scam or not? And when it comes to the movement, they really punish sellers. So if you sell, then 10% of your earnings is automatically 5% goes to stabilizing the price volatility. And then the other 5% goes back into the wallets of the people. So
you have to hold.
Yeah, exactly. The holding movement, again, it persists.
That's right.
Yep.
So all these things are going on in the world of crypto. Now, to dive a little bit more into that, we're going to check it out and have a conversation with Anton on Bots the Builder. So correction there. I got our guests a little bit confused. We're going to talk, of course, to Roy Lenders from Bots the Builder. He's been with us from the start. So we're going to have a chat with him and discover exactly what his experience has been working with bots from the very beginning. Now, Roy is coming in right now. And Roy.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for being here. You've been here from the very beginning. So can you just tell us a bit about how this all happened? How'd you get started with, creating algorithms and working with bots?
We already had a company basically called Boosting Alpha. We founded it, I think, 3-4 years ago. And I think it was August 2019 when we actually set up a meeting with Michele. We didn't know each other yet. And we set a meeting to get to know each other. We wanted to know the plans of bots and blah, blah, blah. And basically we decided, okay, they didn't have any bots yet, so okay, let's start to work together. And they launched the beta platform in end of December 2019. That was still very buggy, by the way, in terms of tech. So the first few months were a little bit, okay, let's see how everything works. And then they went live in May, and now we are one year later. So it has been a hell of a ride.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
As the markets tend to be. So you started with the Power of Pi bots. What was the strategies within those? Why did you choose to start with those type of bots initially?
Well, we were already building bots for stock markets, forex, and other financial markets, and this was the first move for us into crypto, basically. What you try to do is basically use algorithms that were working on stocks, forex. Let's see what we can, whether they work on crypto or not.
And did that work? The transferring those ideas?
No, not one-on-one. So we did spend quite some time in the beginning to really develop new algorithms that work on crypto. So the first launch of the first bots, I think we had 2 bots live at when we had the Corona crash in March back then. And the other bot builder was Altity. I think they also had 2 or 3 bots live at that point in time. But our bots miraculously no crash at all from Corona crash back then.
What would you say, for instance, so you talked about the trading strategies for traditional types of instruments and also crypto.
Yeah.
What's a big difference that you have between
So, for example, for stock markets, we could use information from the quarterly reports. So EBITDA, revenue growth, all kinds of fundamental type of things, which are basically not available on crypto markets. So crypto markets is much more about the combination between sellers and buyers and whatever price forms, and it's emotion. There's a lot of private buyers, private investors in the crypto markets. If you look to stock trading, 95% is institutional. So you are fighting against educated traders and not private traders. So there's a lot of differences. On forex markets, you are fighting against central banks that want to keep the currency rates between certain brackets. So on every financial market, you have to do with different buyers, different sellers, and also different ways how you could, for example, profit. So one of the things that tends to work in stock markets, for example, big investors on stock markets are pension funds and big institutional investors. And at the end of the month, they need to show in their balance sheets in which stocks they actually invest. And they don't want to show that they invest in crypto, or they don't want to show, these risky companies. They don't want to show that on a balance sheet. So at the end of the month, they typically sell them and buy them back early the next month. So depending on what investors you have to deal with, you can, and you know how they work, you tend to know already, okay, this strategy will work, etc.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking now about, revealing your numbers. I heard you made a performance analysis for April. Mm-hmm. So how did your bots do for April?
April or May or this month?
Well, what's the last performance analysis you released?
I published something yesterday because I wanted to see what the impact is of the big crash.
I think that's the most interesting. Let's talk about that.
Minus 1% across all the 50 bots.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So we still have, I think we had 8 bots which are still more than 20% profit this month, and we had 6 bots which are below 20% or more than 20% loss this month. Mm-hmm. So on average, I would say it's quite well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It seems to be so. So I have a question. So you started with the PowerPi bots. Yeah. You moved on to the HODL bots, and now the word on the street is that you're moving with the Illuminati bots.
Yeah, we have new brands. Yeah.
What are those going to do?
We have 2 in quarantine right now, 2 totally different strategies actually, and I'm working with a big team on a lot of different strategies right now. So Illuminati will be not one particular type of trading strategy, it will be a mix of a lot of different things. So one of them that's currently in quarantine is a daily rebalancer. So basically every day it rebalances with totally different tricks than we've used for the HODL bots. The other one is more traditional in and out trading algorithm. So we are experimenting with a lot of stuff, and based on whatever is ready and works, we try to see, okay, what does this fit better under Boosting Alpha, Dagobert Bug. But Dagobert Bug we initially launched basically because it's BTC bots. Mm-hmm. So and that's totally different type of bots, more risky basically. So that's why we wanted to put it on a different brand.
Have you already been testing these bots with the numbers from what's been happening recently? Would you know how they would have done?
Well, we basically, so all of the bots that we develop, we backtest that based on history, but we also backtest them when they are live trading, so that we are we are running basically for every bot we're running 2. One is in live trading and the other one is in backtest. So and we do that to compare behavior. Basically, is the behavior consistent with what we're seeing in live trading compared to what we expect them to do. So that's part of the due diligence basically that we are running on our end to make sure that everything works.
Actually, I have a question from one of our viewers. They're asking if, since the performance was pretty good considering this dip, have you taken those lessons and put them into the new algorithm, or are you going to be adjusting with your newer bots as well?
Well, we're still development process, right? We're trying everything. So and you develop basically on whatever you experience, right? So of course, we do that. And what we also try to do is have a broad range of algorithms, right? We have high-risk algorithms that always go 100% in. Mm-hmm. That's what people typically on the bots platform like, right? They always want to, that's why they scream, the bot is full. Everybody wants the high-risk, high-return bots.
Give me the money.
And you usually see that the low-risk, low-return bots are not full. But at times at these, you see that people, recognize that high return is also high risk, and they move to the low risk bots. So for us, we really want to have a broad range, right? We want to have something for everybody, because if you want to, if somebody invests 100,000 euros in a bot, you don't want to invest that in a high risk bot, right? You want to have a low risk, maybe lower return, but then more stable than throwing it into something which is heavily risk oriented.
Well, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
As you can tell, yeah, people are excited about what the new bots are and they want to jump in.
Yeah.
And we have a viewer who's asking, what is the name of the next bot from Boosting Alpha?
We have two. One is called Deus X. Because we looked for names which fall under the Illuminati brand, and
Michele's writing it down because she wants to get in right away.
Yeah. So Illuminati is a secret movement, right? So we made a list of names for the new bots which are belonging to this secret movement. So Deus X, and the other one. What was the other one? I don't know that off my head. I made the whole list.
It's all lucrative.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So clearly you have a lot of experience within bot creating and building, and as you know, we have another season of the league coming up. So just within your years of experience, what type of tips or advice would you give to someone coming into the bots leagues that's looking to be successful?
Well, if you want to build a successful bot, don't be too simple. If you want to build something that works, it needs to be a combination of a lot of different things. So it's not, one or two simple technical indicators. That doesn't work on the long term. You really need to make a combination of maybe 15, 20, 30.
And what would you classify as simple?
Well, I see a lot of people, moving averages, RSEs, all these kind of tactical. That doesn't work. If it would be that simple, there would be a lot more billionaires in the world, right? So,
yeah.
There needs to be some meat on the bone if you want to have an algorithm which works long term.
Yeah.
These simple things can work for 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
But once the market regime change, just like we have now from a bull market to more bear markets, those things go not in the right direction usually.
Is that where we are right now? You think we're in a bear market?
Well, we had a significant correction this week, so I would presume it's at least a change of market regime. Whether we are going now to a more stable environment or a bear market, maybe we could switch again to a bull market. But I would rate the chances that we switch to it's perfectly logical that we had a correction, right? Because in the last 5 months we had a really significant bull market. So that there would be a correction somewhere down the road is quite logical, I would say.
And your bots are prepared for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The armor. Yeah, so I had a question actually. So, we also hear that you're going to be collaborating with AGA Technologies within the bots. What exactly are you going to do in this collaboration?
Well, actually also with Dema Trading. We just took a share in a Dema Trading company. But also with AGA we're working together. Both AGA and us have been active on the bots platform, and both of us are also expanding into B2B. So we get a lot of requests from hedge funds, corporate players that also want to use our trading bots. Some of these hedge funds companies have a large amount of capital, so think about 100 million, 1 billion, and if you want to trade that amount of money on crypto markets, you can't just place an order, give me 100 million of bitcoins, because things like what happened last week would happen, right? So if you sell that, and also if you buy that, it will have significant impact on pricing. So what we are establishing together is a more, let's say, an intelligent system to be able to place that amount of volume without the market noticing it.
Oh,
okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I think earlier we had you on the show here, and you gave us your Bitcoin prediction. I think we might have a graph showing what that prediction was. Now, I'm having a hard time reading that. Michele, can you see what it says?
40 and 50K.
Yep.
So, has that changed? Would you want to adjust your prediction, or are you sticking with...
I think spot on. I think that I don't think we will, based on the drop we have right now, I don't think it will drop to 20K, 15K again. I don't think that will happen. That would be unlogical.
Okay.
But I do think we will get into a couple of months which are more like a zigzag approach.
Yeah.
It will probably range between, 35, 55 for the rest of the year, maybe towards the end of the year after the summer. Usually we are now in May, right? In the stock exchange market, they always say go away in May and don't come back until September. I think we will get zigzag up until September, October, and maybe in October we'll see another market regime.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Roy, for being here, telling us all about the new things that are going to happen with your bots. Michele got her name of the bot that she's going to be putting everything into.
Xbox. A note for the viewers.
So thanks so much. Now, coming up soon, we're going to have a conversation with Anton Golub, one of the people in charge right here at Flov Technologies. So stick around to catch that conversation next. Hi, Anton. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly, yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. So just first of all, could you just tell me a bit about your company, Flov Technologies? What does it do? And also, furthermore, how does it scale? And what are some of the issues you see with scalability?
Yeah. So first, thank you very much for having me, and I'm wishing you a happy birthday and a big congratulations to all the great work that you have done.
Thank you.
And a really great pleasure to be your guest. So just in plain language, FlovTech or Flov Technologies, we are a market maker for digital assets, for tokens, for protocols, and for exchanges. That means we provide liquidity across a wide variety of exchanges. We're connected to around 120 exchanges around the globe, and we do market making. We provide liquidity both for illiquid tokens, so these are maybe your alternative tokens that are not traded a lot, but we also provide liquidity for very well-known cryptocurrencies and coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and so on. And we do that on a fully automated and computerized basis. As you see, we are having an interview now, and I'm very relaxed, and happy. It's because the algorithms are very stable, very robust. They're run 24/7 without any human interaction. And as our vision for the future of liquidity and the future for digital assets, for tokens and coins, is that one day liquidity will become a household word and everybody will know about liquidity. So today, if you talk about liquidity, if you walk on the street, if you ask a random person what's liquidity, they say, oh, this is like when I'm thirsty, so I need to drink some water. That's maybe the first association, but we want to make liquidity in the markets, in the tokens, in the coins, a household word, and that people know how important it is for the success of our ecosystem. And maybe one day, when your granddaughter or your grandson tells you that he or she created a coin or a token, you would ask them, well, that's great, you have a coin, but is it liquid? And they would say, yes, it's liquid because I FlovTeched it or I floved it, and that's why it's liquid. So really our vision is...
Okay, yeah, that's great. Wow. So I'm curious for the liquidity market. Because you're obviously working with different exchanges and different types of coins and all, but how do you go about with making assets that are so illiquid and coordinating them through exchanges and actually making it quite illiquid? What is your strategy? How does your company exactly do that?
Yeah, so our clients when we actually market make for a particular token, and as they list across several exchanges, be that centralized or decentralized exchanges, they actually expect us to do two things. First is actually we provide liquidity, meaning that we actually quote a lot of liquidity and create a deep order book. On the other side, they also want us to keep the prices in line and in check. So what they want us to do is actually when there is a difference between the prices of their tokens on two different exchanges, they want us to take out that price difference, meaning, do an arbitrage trade, and then keep those prices in check such that they have a fair and correct price discovery across all of the exchanges where they're listed.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
You mentioned earlier, you gave this hypothetical scenario where, a grandchild is going to be making their own coin. Now, is that something people should be doing? Should we all be issuing our own tokens? Is this a good idea?
So today, actually, very few companies and very few people have ever issued a token. And even though we have around 10,000 tokens at the moment, if you put this in a global perspective, it's actually a very, very small number. So what I anticipate, or what I envision one day, is that all the companies will actually have coins, be that a voucher coin or a loyalty coin or maybe a coin that represents their shares. And what I envision going forward, that we'll have individuals as well issuing a lot of tokens going forward. So maybe today are the early days and not a lot of people do it. But in terms of issuing a token, I think this is the greatest way and a greatest validation for anyone or any company to really become a crypto company. Because when you're a crypto company that have issued a token, I think you really went full Monty and you kind of went down the rabbit hole and you became a true cryptocurrency or a crypto company.
Yeah, but as we see, there are some companies that are obviously very successful within having their own coins and issuing them. What are some things that you say would differentiate between being successful and being unsuccessful when it comes to actually issuing your own coin?
Yes. So I think that's a very fair point. And then it's always a question, what does the token actually do? And I think many times the reason why companies that issue tokens get easily challenged or they get questioned why they issue the token, because there's not a clear reason how the token fits into their business model, perhaps, or what's the added value from the token. So I think if we have to reflect first, it's very important to have a clear vision and a clear business where the token is an integral part of that business. So for instance, if you are a sports club and you have fans and you have loyalty points for your fans, that's an interesting idea to tokenize those loyalty points, put them on a blockchain, have them tradable around the globe so everybody can trade those tokens that represent loyalty. And I think that's a clear example where it completely makes sense. On the other side, we have a lot of examples where I think a lot of people cannot identify or clearly understand why the token is there. And I think that's maybe a bit of a problematic scenario, but I think going forward, that will be less of an issue as our industry matures.
Okay, thanks. I just want to give a quick message to our viewers at home. If you have any questions, you can put them to the chat, and I'll make sure to get them to our guests. Now, but Anton, I just want to ask, so right now, would you agree that we're still in a centrally financed world, but are we moving to a decentralized world? Is this inevitable?
Yeah, so I have to say on a personal basis, I'm a big believer in decentralized finance in decentralized world, and over a long time period, that's exactly what we're going to end up. So everything, all aspects of our technology, and I think big part of our life will be decentralized. Now there's a long way to get there, and we are at the early stages of getting there. Now to kind of zoom in and kind of put things in perspective today is that the decentralized or the DeFi, decentralized finance or DeFi aspect of the blockchain world or crypto world is actually very small. It's microscopic compared to the centralized environment. Now, actually, what you see as a market maker, or what we see when we actually talk to the exchanges that we have a very close relationship with, is that the flow is actually moving from centralized exchanges to decentralized protocols. The centralized exchanges see that, and it's happening very quickly, and they see that they're losing so-called AUM over time. And this is early indications, actually, that kind of the whole community ecosystem is slowly moving towards we will end up, and this is the decentralized world.
Okay. In decentralization, I think one issue or one aspect is, of course, distributed ledgers, as I'm sure your company uses as well. So I'm curious when it comes back to the discussion about scalability. What do you think about Ethereum 2.0? So I'm curious on your take on going from a proof of work to a proof of stake system. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so just to kind of maybe for the audience, but I'm sure you know it, but Ethereum has been announcing for a long time now, for many years now, that they will basically roll out a scalability solution where actually they will try to address two problems, issues. One is that the fees on Ethereum are actually way too high, which are a consequence of the fact that it's being used a lot, or the network is clogged. On the other side is actually that it's just way too slow in general. So this is actually what we're actually looking to get an upgrade mid-summer, actually, where Ethereum 2.0 will be rolled out with the goal actually of addressing these problems. Now, I think there's actually a bifurcation happening in the Ethereum world, where actually a lot of people are trying to bypass that problem and build so-called layer 2 solutions. So layer 2 solutions are just that build on top of the Ethereum. They use part of the Ethereum infrastructure for certain aspects of their protocol, but actually most of the action, so to speak, is actually happening in a centralized environment on top of Ethereum, where things are very fast, but still safe and secure and decentralized to a certain extent. So I think going forward, I think with the upgrade that we'll see in this summer, then the true test of Ethereum will come. Because, I mean, we just saw a couple of days ago when we had the huge, or yesterday actually, where we had the huge liquidations, that the Ethereum network and the decentralized protocols withheld this pressure, but the fees were so high that there was to do transactions on the Ethereum network, there was very economic reasoning why you would do it, because if you do a $1,000 transaction, but it costs you $200 in fees, this just makes completely no sense. So I think either Ethereum 2.0 will deliver, will have a scalable solution. If it doesn't, then the so-called layer 2 solutions will dominate the decentralized space going forward.
All right, thank you. Now, let's go back a little bit just to the original, to Bitcoin. It took a big dive this week, but what is your prediction? What is going to be happening with Bitcoin? Where do you think the value will go?
So predictions are
end of this year.
So predictions are very difficult, especially about the future. But I was actually listening carefully to the video today, the interview, and your previous guest kind of said, well, maybe the market regime changed. I can tell you that we as Flovtech, as a market maker, who see things happening behind the scenes, we see the players entering, we see what's going on before it actually hits the public markets or the public view. And I can fully assure you that the bull run is still on. The bull run is still on. This was a minor correction.
Would you dare to put a number to it?
So I think we could easily overshoot 200,000.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thank you, Anton, for explaining everything and talking about your company as well as Flovtech. So we really appreciate you being here, and take care. So for coming up soon, we're going to talk to Collin Groos. He's the co-founder and CCO of Bots, and we're going to celebrate 1 year of Bots. But first, let's take a look back and see how it all began. All right, Collin, we're here. We have a big celebration. It's been the first year of Bots. Congratulations. Happy birthday to Bots. How's the year gone?
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's not only congratulations for me, but it's also for the team and all of our users and all of our shareholders and everybody who contributed to what we achieved today. So it's not only going to me, these things.
So we're sharing this cake with everyone?
Yeah, well, I received this cake from one of the users. They send it to us as well because they probably have seen some social stuff. So it's for everybody here. So I thought, well, let's bring it here. It's beautiful to have it.
So you have some really dedicated users who are sending us cakes.
Yeah. And it's not even the first cake we've received from users, because we also received this year. That's also good. Well, I will never forget that we received this cake for his first 1,000% return. That was also really beautiful to see. Well, that tastes like more, he said. Well, and now I received this beautiful cake. So yeah, more cakes to come.
Well, of course, congratulations on everything. I think it's really great here what Bots is doing. And you've had quite just the successful year, even including, I believe, a couple Bots millionaires, which is amazing. If you look back a year ago, would you say that this is where you were aiming for, where you wanted to be? What would you say about how you feel about that now?
Well, we are used to think big, and we set quite great goals for ourselves, but we also exceeded them. So I didn't expect to be here at this time. In some things, I thought, well, we would be a little bit further, and in some things, we would not get there at this time. But what we have created so far is really impressive. We are in 17 countries. We have thousands of users joining our platform. We have users that it also gives a lot of freedom to a lot of users because they have sort of a second income, so they can do other things for other people as well. And so we enable people also to do better things instead of thinking about money all the time. So it's I'm really glad and I'm really proud of what we have achieved, and congratulations to everybody who is involved.
That's a really positive sentiment, thinking about what people can do with the freedom that they've gone through this. But not everything has always been smooth all the way through. I imagine there were some problems with the app, and now it seems like things have managed to stabilize. So what were those problems initially, and how did we get to the situation we're in right now?
Yeah, so we had a lot of scaling issues as well. We had a lot of legal challenges which we had to solve, and we had to build in stuff for legal reasons, and that's why we couldn't use on features that were good for the users. So the users will probably has had a feeling in certain moments that there didn't change much in the app, but yeah, we really had to do it to prepare ourselves for going abroad and to more countries to be legally out of the woods. So yeah, it comes with an offer as well. But now we are making things better again, and it's more stable. And also, what happened last Wednesday, there were a lot of sites down, like Binance wasn't reachable, CoinMarketCap wasn't reachable, and there are a few more examples. And the bots app was still on, so we didn't went down. We had a lot of traffic to the app, of course. It's quite an exciting day, like Wednesday. And also the bots, they perform better than when you would be full exposed in crypto right away. So things to be proud of. It's
just another added to the list of the victories of bots. I think one interesting thing about just crypto in general and moving within this industry is having to tread in the gray area. As you know, a lot of things are unregulated. There's a lot of questions, and there's not a lot of evidence out there or information out there. What's your experience in dealing with that, and how are you coping with that to maintain such a successful company?
Yeah, well, we have a huge legal team, and they prepare us also along this way. So now we are also busy for how do we go to the USA? How do we go to Asia? How do we? Well, you have to prepare. You have to set this roadmap. So yeah, well, the next birthday next year, where will be then? I have some dots on the horizon, and probably we grow this company to be a unicorn or.
What is bots focusing on now then? Because I'm quite interested on what's the focus now. Where's the company at?
The focus is also, we also realize that we really have to spend more time on fixing the core. It should be really stable. It should be really good. There are so many small things that still needs to improve inside the app. We want to have a queue line for the full bots. We want to have more bots in the app form. We want to have it sorted better filters. These are just basic things, and also the flow inside the app, the verification of the users. Really basic stuff that needs to be fixed, and in my opinion is still the minimal viable product that needs to be fixed in that senses. So we're growing, and so we need to find the balance. So where do we put our attention on? So that's also the challenge to find this balance. And we also have to use our growth potential and the momentum that we are in. So a lot of balls in the air while juggling.
You mentioned some of the legal things that had to be changed. Now, one of those is that bots had to move to Hungary. Yep. But we have a question from one of our viewers saying that DNB seems to is going to change the regulations again of crypto. Does that mean that bots might be coming back to Holland?
In a certain way, it helps as well to make sure that we can facilitate the things that were more heavily regulated before, and now they are making things a little bit easier. So we'll definitely make sure that we can service the Dutch users as well in that sense. Yeah, it's Holland is a beautiful market, but. Also, the DNB also helped the company to focus on going to other countries. So they really actually forced us to go all around the world. So and the procedures were getting better, and so we had to reorganize our company also for the DNB. So that's also it brings also a lot of good stuff there as well.
Yeah, as you say, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Which is quite an interesting take on that. I'm curious about. Obviously you're the co-founder of Bots, and you're very passionate and interested in what you're doing. But what is it exactly that excites you about the field of innovation?
Yeah, it's what excites me is that I see that you can build everything you want. So you can build, if you have a dream and you want to build something really big, then you can do it. It sometimes goes faster and it sometimes goes slower. But if you really set your mind to something, then you can achieve it. And it maybe sound a bit cliche, but it's true, and I see it. And so we're building a huge company with huge ambition, and still you see it's no problem. We can do it. We can fix it. So that excites me every day to come to the office and see we're growing as the team. We have more than 50 people working for the company, and we're growing and growing. And again, it's also a never-ending story, because also for future generations, if we are not here for one day, but also for future generations, we can give beautiful wealth and beautiful returns. We can make it accessible all around the world, from Africa to Asia to Australia, Southern America. We're going everywhere. Yeah. So that's it's endless possibilities, and that excites me a lot. Yeah.
Bots to the moon.
Yeah. Well, you already mentioned it earlier that obviously this is also a celebration of the people who've been using bots, of the users. Now, because of that, because it's been the 1-year anniversary, we've been putting a little competition out there on Instagram, and we are ready to also announce the winners of those trivia questions related to bots. So we're going to just go through them. We're going to figure out what the questions were, what the answers were, and then, of course, you're going to help us announce the winners.
I know the names. Yeah.
He knows the names. So, for our first question, what was the name of the very first bot? Michele.
Do I know the answer?
Do you know the answer?
I know the answer. Only because it's written here in front of me, so I have a cheat sheet. So the answer is CBS by Altrady. Yes. And who is the winner, Collin?
That's Robin van A.
So,
okay.
Congratulations, Robin. He knows bots history right there.
Yeah.
He was there first day.
First one on the bot. Yeah.
You were talking earlier about this. You're proud about how the company keeps growing its members. And this question, to the people who work at bots, and this question relates to that directly. How many nationalities do we have working at bots right now? So, Michele, how many people are here from different countries?
Da-da-da! The answer is 20 nationalities. That's quite a lot. Yeah, bots is really actually going global, internally and externally. Yeah. But who got that right? Who's the winner?
That's Ferry Stockyman.
Ferry Stockyman, congratulations. You have a fun name and you won a prize. So, a lot to celebrate.
The surprise pack.
Now, this was a hard one. Again, predictions are nearly impossible, but we asked you, could you predict the price of Bitcoin on the 20th of May at 9 a.m. in American dollars? So, what was the exact number that they had to predict?
Woo! Okay. Well, to anyone who got this one correct, I will give you a hug when Corona times are over. So, the answer is 39,712.02. Who got that right?
Werner Goffert, you can probably look into the future because, he knows, he knew this.
Okay, wow.
Werner, if you're out there, let me know which bots you're choosing, because I'll just copy those exactly.
Yeah.
And our final question, and this is obviously very important, on which date was the idea of bots born? What was the day that they came up with bots?
Okay.
Kale.
Well, apparently the answer is August 22nd, 2017. So bots is actually a Leo. But you know about that. But who got that right?
That was Jan Willem van Beek.
Okay. With only one day off, actually.
Just one
only one day off. Wow, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? How was bots born? What was the story?
Yeah, well, I have another company as well, and me and Michiel, we were also thinking about making trading algorithms, and I'm doing a really, really brief story here. But so we were making trading algorithms, and we thought, okay, and we did it in Excel. We found somebody who can program it. That's Stefan. He's the other founder and CTO. And then we had a beautiful algorithm, and we thought, okay, how can we make it accessible to my friends and family and everybody? And then you have to be really technical to do that, because you have to set up a server, virtual machine, run the code there, connect it via API to your exchange, transfer crypto via wallet address to your exchange. Well, my mother couldn't do that, and my brother not. And so we thought, okay, we should make it more easy. And you heard the stories about people losing their passwords and everything. So we thought, well,
way back when I bought some Bitcoin. It's on a hard drive somewhere. I don't know. It's all gone. I'm a multimillionaire secretly.
Yeah, so you're part of the reason why bots exist now. Yeah. So that's so we thought, okay, let's make it accessible, and we had this idea of making it as easy as Spotify. You choose a song, you click play, you sit back and relax. And if you could do that with an algorithm as well, you click a bot, you play one, you test it, and you sit back and relax while it's working for you. So that was when the idea popped in. But then, well, we didn't realize that we had to invest a lot of money in building what we have built today, and that there's a huge back end. We've built our own exchanges. So many things came in between. We've built a prototype, a second version, and now the third version is running smoothly and still not finished. So it's if we knew what we knew today, what it all takes to get here, I don't know if we started, but
that's why you need a good, healthy disillusionment to embark on a crazy idea. Because if you knew it was going to take you 5 years, who knows? But now we're here.
Yeah. And it's follow your passion and your joy, and if you go for it, then the puzzle pieces fall together sort of automatically, and that's how it brought us here.
I have a question, actually.
Well, I think it's time for us to actually head over to the Bots League, because we need to know.
Yes,
people are wondering, what's the update? What can you tell us about what's happening with Bots League?
Yeah, so we that's also not something that a lot of people know, because we already did the first Bots League in 2018, and we did a second one. That was the last one. And it's getting better and better, but the next one will be even better. So that means that there will be a new Bots League coming soon. Prepare yourself, because we're setting the standards a little bit higher again. So probably, and we also have a lot of bot creators also from the previous round that also want to build new algorithms for the Bots League. So the competition will be fierce.
And when you say that you set the standards a bit higher, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that the selection requirements will be different?
Yeah, people get, well, actually, not that, but because there are more people involved, it was also harder, and people get more experienced with our APIs, with our back end, and we, they are getting educated also with our product. So, they are actually raising the bar for newcomers, and people, the bot creators that learned a lot from the previous league, well, they will probably contribute also in this league again. So, that will probably result in a great battle of the bots.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
The Fantasy Bot League.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Exciting news.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being here and for celebrating with everybody here. So that was it for this week. We're going to have our next episode in 2 weeks, and we'll have Koen back here in his position. I'll be standing back in the corner. In our next episode, we'll once again go through the news, Bots to Builder, discuss whatever the latest bots topic are, go through the league, and of course, talk to you, the users, as well. So if you're interested in being on the show, you can reach out. Tell us why you deserve to be on Bots TV, and we might actually have you here. So just reach out to us, send a message, and who knows, we'll be talking to you next. So thank you, Collin. Thanks to our other guests, to Anton and Roy. And also, of course, thanks to Michele for being here.
Thank you.
Now it's time for us to enjoy some cake, right?
Yes, really.
Yes.
Good.
So thank you, everybody.
Very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was Daniel. This was Bots TV, and see you again soon.